Hey guys, Static Ninja here. Thanks again for tuning in. As you know, I am a fairly new content creator on the scene, and the amount of love and support that I've been receiving on my first couple videos has been very reassuring, so I just want to thank you guys for that. But without further ado, let's jump right into the video. So one of the biggest obstacles that TurtleWoW and now OctoWoW has in regards to getting new players to join the server is a lot of people really dislike the 1.12 client. A lot of times when I suggest that people give OctoWoW a try, and back when TurtleWoW was still around, people would say, oh, I just can't stand the client, dude. I'd really love to try it, it looks great, but I can't do 1.12. Fair enough. But what a lot of people don't seem to realize is that there's actually a lot of resources available that actually allow you to modernize the 1.12 client to make it look and perform like a more modern client. So today I'm going to give a brief overview of all the add-ons and client mods that I personally use and can give a strong recommendation for whether you already play OctoWoW or are interested in it but haven't yet gotten around to it. Links to all recommendations will be provided in the description below, and I will also be providing timestamps to help you navigate the video more easily. So the first thing we're going to do before we download anything external is we're going to go in our escape options menu and make sure that under display our multi-sampling is turned up as high as it can possibly go. So for me that's 8 times multi-sample, for you it could be something else. And then under world appearance, you want to make sure that your anisotropic filtering at the bottom is set to the highest it can possibly go. Then you want to go down to your shaders panel and make sure that your full screen glow effect is unchecked. So if you have that enabled, make sure it is disabled. Once you have that done, we can start downloading our required tools. So the first thing we're going to download is called the OctoUpdater. The OctoUpdater is an improved open source alternative version of the OctoWoW official launcher. It has all the same features and capabilities, but a couple improvements that haven't yet been added to the official launcher. Why I use this over the official launcher is because this one has all the newest mod innovations from the OctoWoW community. All the required DLLs that are needed for this tutorial are all compiled right here in the OctoUpdater. And it also lets you know whenever a new update is available, so you can make sure that you always have the latest version of these mods. The official Octo launcher doesn't have an updated mods list as of yet, so at the making of this video, the OctoUpdater is the best launcher available. So you're going to go ahead and download all the mods listed on screen. The multi-monitor fix is optional. If it applies to you, then download it. It doesn't apply to me, so I do not have it selected. You also want to hit the gear settings icon in the top right hand corner of the launcher and uncheck install recommended add-ons if it is selected. That way you don't get any unwanted add-ons that you don't plan on using. Once you've gone ahead and gotten those installed, I'm now going to introduce you guys to 2 absolutely game-changing mods that are going to revolutionize your visual aesthetics. These mods are called Reforged and Reshade. Starting with Project Reforged. Reforged is an HD visual overhaul for the 1.12 client that raises visual fidelity while staying faithful to the vanilla fabric. This is why on my client you notice that the trees, the housing, the settlements, the grass, the roads, and the environment in general, everything just looks beautiful, everything looks updated and just visually and aesthetically pleasing. The great thing about this project is you can actually choose which mods you want to install. For example, I personally don't use the HD character model overhaul, which is patch A, because I prefer the classic models, but if you prefer the retail HD models, that's an option for you. I recommend patches B, D, and E at minimum, These 3 patches do have to be installed together because they do not work individually, and these are just going to make your buildings and environment look very nice, very updated, and just give it that modern polish. And if you want your game to look exactly as mine does on screen, I personally use patches B, C, D, E, G, and M. Now, if you're a druid player and you prefer the classic look of your druid forms, like your bear or your tree form, I don't recommend installing patch C because that is going to make your druid forms look like more retail. But everything's optional, so you can just choose what you like and ignore what you don't like. Next is this absolutely magnificent mod called Reshade. And what Reshade does is it essentially allows you to remaster your client in real time. Now I'm describing it as a mod, but what it actually is an injector. So once you install it, you do need to attach it to your wow.exe in your OctoWoW folder. I recommend installing all of the effects packs and then you can play around with it and see what works for you. Now everyone's monitor is different, so what might work for my screen might look different on your screen, but I will include my Reshade filters and settings in the video. You can pause the video if you need to and just copy my settings over. If you're content with it, keep it as is. If you're not, just experiment, play around with it a little bit and tailor it to a setting that is suitable for your monitor. Just for clarity, only the settings with the little rollback arrow to the far right of it are the settings that I have tweaked. So for example, my adaptive sharpen, I have changed that to 0.16 because that's what looks best on my monitor. And if I didn't like it, then I would just hit that little rollback arrow and it would revert it back to the default setting. Now we can jump into the add-on section of the video. Okay, so first off, we have the 2 most essential add-ons in the game potentially, and these are Shagutweaks and PFUI. Both of these add-ons are going to bring a lot of necessary quality of life features that were added in later expansions to the 1.12 client. Both of these add-ons provide mostly the same features, except one is a complete UI overhaul and the other is for people who prefer the default Blizzard UI aesthetic. So if you prefer to have a customized UI that you can tweak to your liking and have it look exactly how you want to look, then I recommend PFUI. And if you prefer the look of the default Blizzard UI, then I would recommend you go with Shagutweaks. I personally prefer PFUI because it has all the features that Shagutweaks has, plus a few additionals, my personal favorite being hover binding. I personally hate the default Blizzard key binding method, but hoverbind allows me to just pick a specific key and bind that key to whatever button that I choose very effortlessly. So it's completely up to you. It's completely based on preference, but I strongly suggest having one of these 2 add-ons if you're not going to use any other add-on. So the first add-on I'm going to recommend today is called the InstanceJournal. This add-on is very similar to Atlasloot, but it takes it a step further. You just press Shift J and boom, it gives you detailed information about every dungeon and raid instance in the game. So I'm going to select Frostmane Hollow as an example, and as you can see, it gives you a visual display of what each boss in the instance looks like. It gives you a summary of the dungeon. On the right over here, it provides the loot table for the boss, and it actually even explains the boss mechanics as well, so you can know exactly what to look out for and what to prepare for. And my favorite thing about this add-on is it actually shows you every single quest that's available for the instance, and it also shows you on the map exactly where to pick up the quest and where to turn it in. Absolute magnificent add-on, 10 out of 10, strongly recommend. And next we have Supercleveroid Macros. So this is a pretty simple add-on. It just allows you to use more modern macro inputs that aren't normally usable in the 1.12 client. So you can use inputs like hashtag show tooltip and it will display that item's information. And you can also use like cast sequences or /start attack and it will attack the enemy nearest to you. And just to give you guys a little example, I have a little macro here that's going to allow me to equip my main hand and my offhand weapon at the same time. And I can use that interchangeably when I'm tanking or for whatever reason. And I just have to type in /equip MH for main hand. And below it, I type /equip OH for offhand. And boom, just like that, it equips my main hand weapon and my shield. And I didn't have to use some overly complicated 112 macro input to accomplish the same feature. And next we have Tankplates, so really important tank add-on. If you're not a tank, you can just skip past this, but what this does is it changes the nameplate color of the targets that you have threat on to green. So when you're tanking, you'll know exactly who you have threat on and who you don't have threat on, because the ones you have threat on will be green, the ones that you're losing threat on will turn yellow, and the ones that you don't have threat on or you have lost threat will turn red. So if you have PFUI, this is automatically built in, so you don't need this if you do use PFUI, but if you don't, I strongly recommend this add-on. Next we have LazyPig, and I'm sure most of you know what this does already. It just like speeds up and simplifies a lot of things, like it can super read through certain quest dialogue, you can auto accept summons, you can auto accept invites from guildmates and friends, you can auto enter battlegrounds, auto leave battlegrounds, just a lot of things that you'd have to manually do yourself. It just automates it for you, so it does everything automatically and saves you a bit of time. This next one's called Learn to Spell. Really cool. It just automatically upgrades the spell rank on your action bar. So let's say you have Frostbolt rank 2 and you go to your trainer and you learn Frostbolt rank 3. It will automatically upgrade the Frostbolt spell on your action bar to rank 3 without you having to manually do it yourself. Now this next one is huge, so healers pay attention. This add-on is called LazySpell. And what LazySpell does is it heals your target based on how much health they either have or don't have. So as we know, healers in vanilla have to strategically pick which spell rank they are going to use situationally, so that way they can conserve mana. This allows you to just cast freely without thinking. Absolute gem of an add-on. If your target has a lower health pool, it will cast an appropriately stronger spell. And if your target has more health, it will cast a weaker spell. So you can just turn your brain off and heal to your heart's content without worrying about going out of mana. And next up we have Adapt. Now Adapt is for non-PFUI users. So if you use Shagutweaks, you'll probably be interested in this. What it does is it just automates your profile unit frame so that your portrait is in 3D and it will be moving and automated just like in PFUI, but it's much more lightweight and doesn't overhaul your entire UI like PFUI does. This next one is called AddonOrganizer. So this is again for non-PFUI users because it automatically comes built into PFUI, but it just allows you to organize, like enable and disable add-ons in game without having to log out. So strongly recommend this add-on if you don't have it already. This next add-on is called AegisExchange. Really cool auction house add-on. It's not essential. If you already use add-ons like Ox or Auctionator, then you don't need this, but I just prefer it because it has a more Blizz-like aesthetic. And if you use this alongside the Auction Query Throttle mod, you get instant scanning results. So as we know, in the 112 client, auction house takes forever sometimes and it can be really annoying, but with this mod from the community, you can get instant scanning results and it will significantly speed up your auctioning, just like in 3.3.5 and beyond. So I strongly recommend, even if you don't get this add-on, you install the Auction Query Throttle mod DLL. It's an absolute game changer. You guys already know what Atlasloot does. Everyone and their mom uses it. Just provides a loot table for every boss and profession in the game. If there's a specific item you want, you can use this add-on to know exactly where to locate it, what its drop percentages are, and which boss drops it, so, or which profession crafts it. So yeah, I won't spend too much time on this one. Next we have Attackbartimer. This just gives you a little timer bar that shows your auto attack rhythm and allows you to time your skills perfectly if you are especially a warrior or a melee class. So if you are a feral druid, a rogue, a paladin, or a warrior, this is pretty much an essential add-on, and I would strongly recommend it, especially if you plan on raiding. Next we have Bagshui. Now I'm really surprised that this add-on isn't more popular than it is, because it seems like most people still use Bagnon, but in my opinion this is way better than Bagnon, because what Bagshui does is it organizes every single item in your bag, so that way you don't have to sift through it and find it manually. So your quest items will be in one category, your crafting recipes will be in another category, your armor will be in one category, your weapons will be in another category, and everything is just assorted and organized for you. So that way it just makes it a lot easier to find the items in your bag without having to take a minute to find it. Bettercharacterstats, super simple add-on. It just shows you your character stats in the character menu. I just recommend this so that way you can keep track of like your hit rating, for example, especially if you're a tank. You want to know when you hit that 8% hit rating, and if you're defense capped, if you're crit immune, just information like that's just critical if you're planning on raiding. Chatsuey, super lightweight add-on. I don't really use it for much. I just use it so that way I can keep the Blizzard chat UI while being able to open web links. So if someone sends a Discord link or a YouTube link, I can click it, copy it, and paste it into my browser without any issues, whereas the default chat UI does not allow you to do that. Chronometer, really cool spell timer add-on. I mainly use it on healing characters, so on my Resto Druid I know exactly how long my hots are going to last on my target, but it's also really good for warlocks or anyone who uses damage over time spells. But it's good for pretty much any kind of character or class, so it'll just let you know exactly how long your spells are gonna last, and also your buff durations and things of that sort. Next one is called Greedmeter. So this is just a damage meter add-on. There's a couple alternatives out there, so you can use whatever you like. I just prefer this one because it has a more modern aesthetic and resembles like a 3.3.5 and beyond damage meter. So I mainly use it for aesthetic, but it has all the same features and capabilities as any other damage meter out there. LevelRange, pretty good map add-on, just lets you know what the level range for the zone that you want to level or are currently leveling is, so that way you can plan your leveling route. Next is MiksScrollingBattleText. As the name implies, it's a scrolling combat text add-on. Pretty good alternative if you're not really a fan of Blizzard's default combat text. It's good for alerts, like when your health gets low or your mana gets low, it can play certain sounds, and it can also remind you to keep like your shouts up if you're a warrior and when abilities like overpower and execute are available. So I really like it. I don't really like too much screen clutter, so I disable a lot of its functions, but it's still a strong recommendation for any class. MinimapButtonBag. Really love this add-on. It just compiles all the add-ons on your minimap into one location for easier access, makes your minimap look more organized and clean, and eliminates clutter. If you're a PFUI user, you already have this feature automated into your minimap, so you don't need this add-on. Next is ModernSpellBook. Literally, as the name implies, it just gives your spellbook a more modern, retail-like aesthetic. NiceDamage, I've been using this add-on since Wrath of the Lich King, really love it. It just replaces Blizzard's default damage text and makes it look really nice. Not essential, but it's essential for me, so yeah. Next is a really cool add-on called OctoSpec. Now, I really like this add-on because it allows you to import talent builds directly from the OctoWoW calculator into the game, and it has the option to automatically distribute them as you level. So you can create a priority list and tell it exactly which talents you want to level in what order, and every time you level up, it will automatically apply the talent for you. It also gives your talent tree background a nice modern visual upgrade as a cherry on top. So if you're like me and you like to craft your talent builds ahead of time for your new characters, I strongly recommend this add-on. OmniCC is a fan favorite. It gives you a visual display of your spell cooldowns on your action bar. If you have PFUI, it comes built in, so you don't need to worry about it. Next add-on is Outfitter. Outfitter is an equipment management add-on. Really good, especially if you have an off spec or multiple off specs. Anytime you swap into a spec, you can just use the equipment management add-on to swap into an item set that is most appropriate for that spec. This feature comes pre-built into PFUI, so you don't need to worry about it if you are a PFUI user. And the follow-up add-on to Outfitter is called SimpleActionSets. Love this add-on. Pretty much if you switch into an off-spec on a 1.12 client, it doesn't save your action bars just like modern clients do. So SimpleActionSets allows you to save your action bar profiles. So anytime you swap specs, it will automatically activate that action bar profile, and you don't need to re-add all of the newly learned spells for that spec back onto the action bar. Next add-on is called Puppeteer. So Puppeteer is an essential healing add-on. It allows click casting and mouse over healing capabilities, and it allows you to heal way faster and way more efficiently than clicking each individual player's profile and then casting the heal. You can also keybind certain spells to specific keys inside the add-on for maximum efficiency. QuestAnnouncer, pretty simple, just communicates to your party whenever you have completed a quest. You can customize it to announce your quest progress, but that could be annoying for some people, so mine is just set to announce whenever the quest is completed, so whoever I'm grouped with knows that I am no longer on that same quest. And then we have QuestItem, another very simple but very useful add-on. And this add-on just identifies whether a quest item in your inventory is relevant to a quest that you're currently on. RestedXP add-on, really useful, lets you know exactly how much RestedXP you currently have, so that way you're not staying at an inn or sitting under a tent for longer than you need to. Turtle Mail, another essential add-on, allows you to loot all the items in your mailbox with the press of one button. It will also calculate the earnings from all your auctions and let you know exactly how much gold you made. And last but not least, we have MatrixMaps. So MatrixMaps is just a minimap customization add-on. It's just aesthetic, it's not really essential, but I thought I'd throw it in the video just because I personally love it. You can change the color, you can change the appearance, and as you can see, it's animated, so it's spinning. You can make it a bit lighter, make it a bit darker, you can even add snowfall to it. So there's a lot of customization options, and I think it's just a really cool add-on if you want to get into that aesthetic wave of things. But yeah. So there you have it. That's my complete list of highly recommended add-ons and client mods. Everything will be linked in the description below. Once you get these installed, your client will feel more modern and up to date. It will not feel like 1.112. So I hope more people who have like hangups about 112 and want to try OctoWoW will see this video and reconsider it. But this video was way longer than I wanted it to be. But thanks for sticking through it, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks for watching.